Welcome aboard, folks. This is Cabin Pressure with Sean and G. And believe us, this has got more turbulence than a red-eye to Vegas in a thunderstorm. We're talking about interesting coworkers. Plus, buckle up because beginning May 7th, 2025, the real ID requirements finally kick in. Not to mention, the State Department just dropped 13 new travel advisories. It's chaos, it's comedy, it's cabin pressure. So, stash your tray tables, grab your emotional support water bottle, and let's taxi down the runway to madness.
Prepare for takeoff.
Hey everyone, welcome. This is Cabin Pressure. What's going on, Sean?
What's going on, people?
You absolutely kill me, man. You are killing me.
What's going on, man? You're sounding a little rough over there.
I'm sounding like freaking Kermit the Frog. That's what I'm sounding
You
like.
are, man. I'm like, what is going on?
Well, what's going on is this is a little bit about being a flight attendant, okay? We work in a freaking tube that is just germ-infested, right? But the only difference is it's like working in a doctor's office, but you don't know who's sick.
Exactly, man. That's freaking bio experience in the sky, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got passengers that are sick, you got little kids sick, but you have no freaking clue. And then, there's always some little kid touching a handle or a passenger's touching a handle, overhead bins, whatever it is, but we come in contact with it all the time.
Constantly, man. I mean, that's when I'm flying, I'm always washing my hands. I'm like constantly washing my hands. I mean, we had that during COVID and stuff, it was like sanitizers, gloves, all that stuff. But it was like,
it doesn't matter though, man. I tell you, I wash my hands all the time, and Airline soap sucks.
Oh yeah,
it dries your skin out. I mean, it don't matter how much lotion you put on your hands afterwards. Your fingernails crack. I mean, it's freaking horrible.
If you're washing your hands that many times a day, it's like just like any other industry that has to do it, like doctors, nurses, all that stuff. That's why they're always like. You see them now, they're always doing the hand sanitizer as an enter each room type of thing. So it's, that breaks up your hands washing it. I mean, washing is good, but it's bad for your skin, right?
Like I said, my nails crack all the time, especially in the wintertime. But yeah, it's just, you just never know. I mean, you don't know who's sick on the airplane. So it's just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah.
As being a flight attendant, it's just a matter of when. And then your crew members are sick too. And with certain things about policies and stuff like that, people come to work sick.
Dude, that is the worst. There's this little catch-22 here. Like everybody's trying to make their money and, do what they got to do to get through their life and all that stuff. But it's also like, you're like, you try to balance that. Should I be going to work? Should I not be going to work? Is this serious sickness? Is it, what do I got going on here? Because we don't know. Just like we don't know what we're getting.
Or do you just want to go back and share the damn love that somebody gave it to you too? a lot of times I'm like, yeah, something. Okay, I accepted your love. You're getting mine right back.
Yeah, that's worse. I mean, when I'm sitting next to somebody on the jump seat and we're like shoulder to shoulder, and this person's coughing, wheezing, or all this stuff, sneezing, you're like, really?
Yeah, but
really?
But flight attendants truly though. We spread it all across the United States because when we're sick and we're handing people cups, I mean, there's a good chance a big percentage of them on the plane are going to get a cold.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy like that because we transmit it all over the place.
Oh yeah. We're worse than a little 2-year-old.
Yeah. Then it goes across the world. But hey, what's been going on with you this week?
You know what? I'm just trying to spin up my business and stuff with real estate photography and everything, and working at school and doing that type of thing. But something happened yesterday that was pretty cool. In this photography business thing is, I just subscribed to do this. I'm going to have a personal app to my business.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Where you actually I'm going to be able to. Hand you or get you, it doesn't matter what type of platform you're on, ISO or Android, you're going to be able to download my personal app And then it's going to have like all my packages of pictures in there and all the services that I do and everything. It's kind of like a total step up in the business. It's going to be pretty cool, but it's cool marketing. And then I can deliver all my materials through that to the agents and stuff. So I'm pretty stoked about that. That's pretty good. A little bit of a tech, learning curve to get it all spun up and all that stuff. I guess it's supposed to take like a couple weeks for them to build the app for me and all that stuff. But yeah, man, excited about that. That's going to be super cool.
I was telling you the other day about your venture with this. I think this is probably it will be one of your best ventures that you've done.
Yeah. I mean, this is like so tech heavy loaded, back end, like you're doing all these, like, not only am I doing my photography and my pictures and all that stuff, but also I get to like play with all my toys and stuff, my drones, have all these different like, and before I even got into it too, it was like, there's so much into it, like all these different things that real estate agents out there in today's world want that I had no idea.
Right.
But so I'm getting exposed to all these like services and things that I can provide. It's all through me able to do technology and photography.
That's
pretty
what
cool.
I said. It's right up your alley. I mean, 100% up your alley.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in the news, man, the, big date's coming up here, May 7th. May 7th is the first day for real IDs. If you don't know what that is, real ID compliance, you're not going to be able to travel throughout the United States unless you have a real ID. Like every state in the nation right now has a process, and this has been going on for a couple years now, where you get your driver's license, and if there's a like star on your driver's license, it means that you've been verified as a U.S. citizen, resident, all that good stuff. So that you're going to need a real ID to travel. And if you don't have it, you still can travel, but you're still going to have to produce a secondary ID. And there's a whole list of all kinds of IDs that are out there. And number one is passport, right?
Everybody's your passport.
You can use your passport and your driver's license. If it isn't a real ID driver's license, you're going to be able to use both those. And there's just a whole slew of IDs. And what was so interesting about this list of IDs that I was like, I had no idea that there's this many different crazy IDs out there in the world. And one of the ones that like jumped out on me, like, did you know that there is a Indian nation, it's called a tribal nation Indian ID?
No.
Yeah, I had no idea that they had their own IDs. That's so cool. And then they have Canadian province driver's license and Indian and North Affairs Canada card. I mean, there's all these very interesting IDs that are out there that I was like, wow.
So TSA accepts any of those?
Any of these IDs
Really?
that are out here that are on this list, TSA is trained to recognize these. You can use your also like your travel cards too, like the Global Entry, Nexus, all that type of stuff. You can use those as IDs, valid IDs as well. Permanent residence cards, border crossing cards. There's all there's a lot of different IDs that are out there. But it was just super interesting that I didn't realize. Like I'm always thinking, an ID is an ID. It's your driver's license, right?
Yeah.
Driver's license and passport.
But federally recognized that tribal, I can see that. That's kind of a different one.
Yeah, different. Yeah, I mean, then they have veterans health identification cards, U.S. merchant marine credentials. So if you start thinking about like all the ways people travel and move about the country and stuff, there's a lot of IDs out there. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, but we talked about that too. And the best thing to do is go to the DMV and get your driver's license done.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna. Well, they stop. I think they're gonna stop issuing normal, those like standard ID type of things.
Right.
You're gonna only have to do the real ID type of situation here. I think after a certain date, and where you're gonna be, if you'll be required to like prove your residency. But once you've already done it once, it's done.
Right.
Like you renewing your driver's license, you don't have to do it every time. It's just you're done and you're verified and.
So May 7th. 2025.
Yep, 2025. Be prepared. If you have some plans to travel, be prepared to have those secondary IDs if you don't have it, the real ID and all that. Other thing that's in the news, man, is that two-way travel advisories happening. I mean, the U.S. government has a travel advisory website. I don't know if a lot of people know about that, but there is a travel advisory website, and literally every country in the world has a link, and it will tell you an update to what's advised and stuff. And I will tell you, I've used this site many times when I'm traveling. If I go to a different country or something like that, just to be aware of what's going on in that country before I get there, because you can't believe of all the things that are happening that you don't see in the news that's happening in other countries. That just because it's not around you, they have their terrorist problems. They have their issues, whatever, political issues and, wars and whatever. But if wherever you're going, you should definitely, like back in the day when we went to Honduras, I don't think I checked that site.
You didn't look at it at all, excuse me. But the funny part about that, we had talked about this many times, was in the United States, U.S. citizens, a lot of U.S. citizens, when they travel abroad, they have a false sense of security.
Right.
They have and when you talk to these people, they're like, oh, I just go, I don't really worry about that. And all I think about all the time is that this is why you have these videos of these people that are missing a lot of times, because they have this false sense of security in a different country.
Yeah, they just don't. I will, as an American that have lived abroad and seen actions of Americans living abroad and people traveling abroad quite often, that false sense of security lets their guard down, and they think that there's this a U.S. Citizen bubble around them or something like that, where they're protected.
It's
and
crazy.
All that stuff it's.
I've seen it with crew members too, though, Sean. I mean, we'll be in a place that's not safe,
right?
And they'll go walk around in a downtown area, and they'll act like that they're safe, and you don't realize you are a target.
Yeah,
you just became a target, and they have this false sense of security. And even in some of these places, they got no business walking around those downtown areas.
Well, exactly. And then, the U.S. has right now, they issued 13 new countries on the travel advisory. And it's funny that the news picked up on these 13 new. I mean, there's actually hundreds. But why they picked it up is because of some of the places that are, that we've issued travel advisory. And one of them is Canada. Canada.
You would never
think of Canada as a place. Austria, Ireland, Portugal, Argentina, Caribbean islands right now, Aruba and St. Lucia's on that list. And these are places I've been to most of those places on that list. And, going there, I wouldn't have thought that you got to worry about that. But at what they're saying is that terrorists are likely to try and carry out attacks against U.S. People internationally, and those attacks could be indiscriminate, including places of that foreigners visit. And so you need to be aware when you're internationally that these attacks might be, they're trying to target Americans outside of the borders. So you need to be on heightened alert, period. I mean, just in this day and age, and right now, this is real.
Yeah, just be careful. I mean, anytime you're traveling abroad, you need to be careful. Be aware of your surroundings, because, like I said, I've seen it so many times. Even with flight attendants that travel abroad, they have this false sense of security, and it's foolish.
Yeah, it's foolish. And then here's the other thing is, as I was looking into this whole thing, there's also travel advisories in other countries that are against the U.S. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that other countries that they're trying to come to here, there's advisors in their countries for them not to travel to the U.S.
Well, it'd be the same thing.
Right. It's
terrorist attacks, right?
Well, it's not always a terrorist attack. Their big concern right now is if you get to the U.S. border, you might not, even if you have the proper documentation, be accepted to come in.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of being denied of people coming into the United States, I guess, right now. There's, Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, and United Kingdom all has issued travel advisories to go to the U.S. And it's for those reasons, mostly not as concerned like a U.S. citizen going abroad. So it's a little bit different, it's immigrations things.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, I definitely understand that. Some of the places we fly to, you can understand why.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But you were talking the other day about a cruise you've been flying with.
Well, on the podcast, we always talk about passengers and things that go on with passengers. And to be fair, because I just flown with let's say it's just a different type of crew member, right?
Right.
Okay, so we have 1% of passengers that are a little disruptive.
Sure.
Today I thought, well, let's just talk about that 1% of crew member.
You're talking about the 1% crazy.
Now, any flight attendants are listening, any passengers are listening. You guys have ran into this too. I mean, this is not a shocker. We don't talk about it so much as a crew member.
Sure. I mean, we want to keep our, keep face, right? We're going to make sure that, we have a professional industry and stuff. But just like you said, there's always that 1% out there that you run into that's batshit crazy.
I was just going to say the same thing. Batshit crazy was exactly what crossed my mind because, it started off, and the reason why this part of the podcast was when I was on this flight, I was with this crew member, and everything was good, right? I mean,
right.
We're sitting there going through the motions and getting everything, and we get out in the cabin, and as soon as this person got out in the cabin, I'm not kidding you, Sean. I mean, the stress level wasn't even that bad, but next thing you know, I'm like, this person is completely spasmodic in the aisle. And I'm like, what the hell just happened to you? From the galley out here. And I had to deal with this all the way through the cabin. And all I could think about is this is the one thing that we have not talked about on this podcast yet is our crazy flight attendants that we had. And the flight attendants, you guys are listening, you know exactly what we're talking about. So we're going to kind of give you a little bit of a rundown today on the shit crazy flight attendants that we have to deal with. Yeah, we kind of classified
all these different employees you run to. You probably can apply these to other work environments too, but the ones that are specific to us as crews, I mean, this is some of the list. So like,
when you walk on board, and a lot of times you're a load flight attendant, when you come on board and those people act like they don't even know you. I mean, the first thing, you come in, you say hello, and you'll get one person that actually smiles at you, and the rest of them that you get these little frowns and everything else, and you just meet these person for the first time.
Yeah, I mean that's one of that situation. I hate that situation when you're that extra flight attendant running around in the sky, and you're by yourself, and you're flipping from crew to crew, and you get on this crew, and you got total attitude coming back for you, and nobody wants to be friendly or talk to you, and that is like the most uncomfortable situation to be in.
And they put you, and the funny thing about it, in this position, you're always at the front of the plane. You're greeting people. So you're like, you remember Julie, the cruise director of the Love Boat, right? You're out the front of there, and you're greeting all these people, and you're all nice and everything, and everybody else is not nice.
Oh, you know what? I mean, do you feel like do you get embarrassed when you're like with a crew like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to talk about it, because this is only 1%. Don't get me wrong. When we're talking about this to our flight attendants, this is 1%. This is a very small percentage of people on the airplane that are like this.
Yeah, I mean, this is like little encounters that we pop up every now and then. I mean, these unicorns within the system that rear their head, and we're like, where did you come from?
Yeah, you get the first one. I always refer to them as a chia pet.
The chia.
Do you remember that chia pet? You just water it and the shit grows.
Right.
That's the same thing. I mean, you get this person that they just come in, there's no response from them at all, Sean. I mean, at all. I mean, you come in, you're like, hi.
Yeah.
Silence. Nothing. Right? They just move around. And I mean, you have to literally draw any type of conversation out of them.
Yeah, they won't talk at all. Like, it's just like they're there. They're part of the crew, but they do not communicate with you whatsoever.
Even going through this, every time that you run into these type of people, you always ask the same question: who in the hell hired them? Yeah. Because this is a career in which you have to communicate with people.
Yeah, you're supposed to be personable. You're supposed to be able to communicate, all that stuff. But I mean, when you start shutting down towards your own crew members, I mean, that's like red flag, and you're like, what is going on?
Exactly. And you see him in the aisles too with the passengers. The mean crew member, the one that doesn't want to talk.
Yeah. Oh man, those are, you know what? I can't stand a mean crew member, especially because like I feel like I'm always like needing to run behind them and put out their little fires, or whoever they pissed off. You're trying to overcompensate for what they're doing because of their bad behavior, and that the customers are actually like they're attuned to this.
That's funny you just said that, because that one I refer to is that's the one that hits the hot button, right? And they're a runner.
Yeah.
They hit the hot button, and then when they do, they piss this person off, and then they run away from it, and they do what? They go get me and you to come back here and play the cooler.
See, I call them a fire starter.
It's bullshit.
I'm like these. My motto when I get on a crew, like when I'm like the lead or something like that, and especially if I don't know these people or whatever, I like do our briefing that we're supposed to do and stuff, and I'm like I'm a firefighter, not a fire starter. So, that's part of my brief. Like, I'm like, don't start the shit. Like, I don't know who you are, but don't start it. I'm a firefighter. I'm not a fire starter. And if you start some fires, I'm going to put it out and we're going to be talking.
Exactly. But they still do it. I mean, they do. I mean, that's why I was saying it's crazy. And then you get these ones, and this is kind of towards a younger generation, this 1%. And they're like, oh, this is just my part-time job. It's how I get my coin.
Yeah.
What your coin?
The beauty of our job is that we have the flexibility of doing our schedule, and we can make it part-time if we want to. I mean, once you get just a little bit of seniority in any system, you don't have to be here that often. You can give away your trips, you can pick up trips, you can do all that stuff. But I mean, that attitude of like, for the majority of us that come here, this is our job, this is our staple. We come here, we do our job on a daily basis, weekly basis, and you got this one guy rolling in here or gal that's like, this is my part-time job, and I don't really care.
Right from the very beginning. Right. I don't do that because this is not how I make my coin. I hear that and I'm like, coin, what is that? I know it's your money. I know. I mean, but it just blows me away when I hear that. And then the other one is, I love this one too. Don't bother me. I've got my earbud in.
Oh, dude. First of all, unprofessional, right? I mean, having your earbuds in on an aircraft. I will say this. There's been a time like in my career where I was like, I wish we could wear earbuds. Like, I know our policy in our company that we're not supposed to be doing that. But it happens all the time on the plane. But I mean, to protect our ears, I mean, honestly, flight attendants, as much as we're on these steeper planes and the noise level, and we just don't realize how noisy it is. But I mean, how many flight attendants we know have ear damage?
They're not listening. They're not. But that's not the case, man. They're listening to music or they're talking to somebody.
Right.
We're talking about the bullshit ones that are listening to music and talking to somebody. That's not even part of your job.
Yeah, they're talking to somebody on the phone where they know they're not supposed to, and they're telling everybody else on the plane not to be on the phone, but they're on the phone when they're freaking pods, and they're listening to music and stuff like that, and just not paying attention to stuff, doing their job. Yeah, that is the.
And we're out there doing their job and our job.
Right, because they can't hear bells and, all that crap. Yeah.
That's the one that killed me. Okay, you got them in there that are sitting on a jump seat and they got that shit in their ears, and all of a sudden there's a call back and they're not answering the phone. They're on the side of the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like waving over there. I'm like, what do you get? And they got earbuds in.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I mean, like I said, this is 1%, and you guys know this, but we have to talk about it because, it's ridiculous as a crew member that you also have to deal with this too, but it also affects customer service too.
Yeah. But then on that line, you have the person that they're the avoider, right? They avoid everything. Like they're just like literally, they don't want to be like, they shrink into the corner on the jump seat and don't move.
They hide out in the galley. They stick their head around the corner just to see if it's close to being done.
Right.
They don't help out with bags.
Yeah.
And the other thing with bags, why is it passengers automatically think when they see a male flight attendant that the male flight attendant is the bag lifter?
Yeah.
Right? They just think because of us, it's rude. They think that and you're not being rude, but they think automatically they see me and you like we're supposed to pick their big ass bag up and throw it in the overhead bin.
This is something that's, it's only because we're male flight attendants. Like, this is a peeve of mine. Like, people, they think that we're just because we're male. Oh, I need to assist this lady, or I need to assist this pastor. But this is education for everybody out there. If they don't already know this, one of the things that a company wants to do is they want to protect their employees. And to protect their employees is that one of the number one reasons why flight attendants get injured on the jobs is lifting bags. And we injured ourselves with our backs, all kinds of stuff. We get injured doing it. And so a lot of companies have put out directives out there saying, hey, don't lift the bags. You can assist, but you're not to lift it yourself. Now, there's a lot of situations where obviously, hey, we need to lift the bags. This person's handicapped, and we're assisting them, and we do that type of stuff. But on an average basis, just because you're rolling your bags and you brought too much stuff with you, like you shouldn't have, we're not here to lift your bags. You need to be able to lift your own bag.
But they always look at me and you the same way. It doesn't matter. They look at me and you about, oh, you're rude if you don't pick my bag up. No, I'll help you pick your bag up. But just don't assume that, just because we're on the airplane, that's our job is to pick your bag up. Because those bags are really heavy a lot of times. Yeah, and I don't care, man, I'm in the gym all the time. That's not the whole point of it. The point of it is that, you packed it. It's like you pack it, you stack it, right?
Exactly.
Because as soon as you get it over your head, it could be a back injury for most flight attendants.
Right. Well, and here's the other part about it that people don't realize. I mean, I've seen this happen. Like, you are a flight attendant and we go and we try to help people out like we're always trying to do. And that flight attendant gets injured. And guess what? If that plane is in a station where we don't have extra flight attendants,
it's down.
You just canceled the flight.
Oh, yeah, it's down for sure. I mean, they're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere because if that flight attendant has to get off the flight and there's nobody to replace them, you just literally canceled the flight because you brought too much shit.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's go back to our 1%ers, Sean. How about that flight attendant that, you as soon as you get done with the service and you go back and you sit on the jump seat, they kind of turn towards the door and they act like you're not even there. Did you love that one?
Yeah.
The one that acts like you're not even in the galley, man. They turn their back to you.
Yeah, they're in their they want to like crawl back into their own little world or whatever. Yeah, but and not be a part of what's going on, what they're getting paid to do. It's their job.
Now here's the one that I really think's kind of funny too. The one that would do this job Zoom.
That would want to do it Zoom.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
If they would.
In their apartment, they'd want to do this job by Zoom because they don't even want to be there.
Yeah.
And the funny part about it, again, we're just talking about this, but the passengers, you've experienced these people, and trust me when I'm telling you, we might not talk about them that much, but we experience them too, because when we fly, we look at our pairings and we look at like crew members, right?
Oh, yeah.
And when we look at a pairing and we think, okay, it's a one-day trip. Well, I can take them for one day, right?
Sure.
I can take them for one day. And then you see 3-day trip and you're like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
3-day trip working with that person, I'll jump my ass out of the airplane.
Right.
Seriously, you know that. You know that.
We have the benefit of being a small base and we know everybody, and then we've experienced this forever. I mean, we're just getting recently into getting new people and stuff like that. That some of them we don't know, but I mean, yeah. I mean, if you have that pre-knowledge of like what this person is like to fly with, and yeah, I don't want to go multiple days with that person flying with them.
Because you're Smokey the Bear, man. You're putting out fires all day long.
Yeah.
For one person.
I'm not doing that, man. First of all.
It's not worth it.
Because I'm the flight attendant that I'm not going to be shy about getting in your face.
Yeah.
Like I'm if you're a fire starter and you're causing problem, by the end of that next flight, between those flights, we're going to have a serious talk. and somebody's getting off the flight or somebody's going to be correcting their behavior because I'm not putting up with that bullshit.
Exactly, because you don't want to deal with it for 3 days.
Yeah.
But, just like I said, I had to touch on this because we talk about passengers and we kind of, we give it to the passengers a lot of times. But this time we had to give a little bit of love back to our crew members because there is 1% that we deal with all the time. And it's a lot of times the passengers, you guys see them. And they're the same way towards you. And, unfortunately, in every business, you have that 1%.
Yeah, man. But we skipped over one here. Well, one really important one, which is that one flight attendant that doesn't want to stop talking.
Oh, my God. But you can't even get a word edgewise.
G.
Oh, you talking about? No, you're not. Yeah, you got to be kidding me. Really? Oh, yeah.
All right. I need people to call in and need to chime back. Let me tell you what you think about G.
there's a big difference between me and someone. I will have a conversation with you and we'll talk about anything. But to where you just keep going. No, you ain't saying that about me, brother.
No. Listen, no. The flight attendants that are out there that we know that talk. Like there's one here in Cleveland that I'm not saying any names or anything like that, but it's when she gets on the flight, or even if I see her on a pairing, and just this goes back to us knowing our crew members stuff. It's it's so that conversation that it's like a continuous conversation that it's almost a nervous conversation because she's talking about nothing.
Well, what it is with me is that if you're in the conversation, we're having a conversation. Now,
Sure.
You're right. I can talk all day long if we're having a conversation.
Right.
But I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm responding to what you're saying. I'm not just waiting for me to interject again. These people, I don't even think they're listening to what you're saying. Whatever they're talking about is the most important thing.
Yeah, and they just keep talking about them and their life and what's happening and blah, 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 blah. And they just keep going on and on and on and on and on. And
it never ends.
Yeah.
Never ends.
It's like,
but how about the ones that they could have summed it up in 3 words and it ends up being 15 minutes for 3 words.
15 minutes is something that you do not want or not interested in hearing about.
That's it. Yeah. 3 words it takes. But anyway, we all have that. And I can't even believe you said it was me. You got to be shitting me.
All right. People, help me out.
No, you ain't no helping out. Ain't no helping out. You got to be kidding me, right? Listen to you, how much you talk.
I got to give you shit. I got to give you shit.
Yeah,
I can give you shit. Anyways, what else has been happening in airline these days here?
Did you see that flight attendant ran that Mercedes into that Tesla?
Dude. So I don't know what this is about and all this stuff, but this whole thing with the Tesla thing and Musk and I don't want to get political on the show and all that stuff, but a person goes out and buys a vehicle that has no attachment to the person that owns the company, or that's such a bunch of bullshit.
And then you take off running, and all you're getting out of that is a mug shot.
Yeah. This is this whole situation with the Tesla and stuff can flip tomorrow. All of a sudden, something happens in Germany against America or something like that. And now everybody's keying BMWs,
the Tesla thing is ridiculous though, Sean, because
it's so stupid.
But it's built in the United States. It's U.S. workers, it's U.S. product. And you're sitting out there and you're yelling and screaming about it. But anyway, the flight attendant ran her Mercedes into a Tesla and tried to run.
Yeah, dude. First of all, the Tesla vehicle has that Sentry mode. And there's 18 cameras on it or something.
Exactly. You're busted.
That thing has recording every angle and anything around it. One time I was I was golfing and I saw one of the Tesla trucks out and thing, and I just went up to it and I literally touched the car and was looking in, but just lean in type of thing.
Yeah.
And it was Sentry mode, and it actually started talking to me. I was like, what the. Whoa, dude.
High tech, man. But these people are so stupid. They're all on video.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just dumb. I mean, she was stupid, but all these people that are doing this to Teslas, they're stupid. They're on video. You're going to go to jail.
This reminds me of like that, when I was growing up, it was talking about like college students protesting and all this stuff. And when I was young, like this is early, late 60s, early 70s, whatever, protesters, all this stuff. And, these are actions that you're doing right now that eventually you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it because you're going to get caught, and this
You're already
goes on
caught.
your record.
I mean,
you're already caught.
You're on
it's
the
just
video.
A matter of time and when they figure out who you are and all that stuff. I mean, it's just stupid things to do. I mean, I saw a guy like on the news the other day going down and he like was keying one. They got him keying it. I'm like.
But with facial recognition anymore, it's gonna be so easy. How about the guy that ran the little 4-wheeler into the side of it? But anyway, we were talking more with the flight attendants.
All the videos are crazy.
It's just absolutely crazy. But did you see the one? Now this is nasty, Sean. Guy takes a sterno and he puts it in the toilet and then puts a tin across the lid inside the lavatory of an airplane and cooks a steak on it.
That's fucking gross.
How nasty could you possibly be? And then you're taking a video of this, like it's like a 5-star restaurant. You're in the toilet.
I'm sorry, man. I can't even think of anybody like taking any type of beverage, food, anything into a lavatory on a plane. I mean, we started off talking about bugs in a plane in a tube. Are you kidding me? Now you're going to go cook food in this environment that's like the worst freaking bio environment in the world. No.
How many people have set their ass down that lid and you just set your steak on a tin over that thing?
Yeah, that's like me going out to like a construction site and going into a freaking outhouse and like, hey, I'm gonna set up, cook some lunch.
That was just nasty.
Nasty.
I don't. You're looking for views. I get it. That's nasty, man.
I don't know.
That's
gross. Why?
Yeah. How about the ding dong that had his lighter out flicking it, and the captain actually had to come on the PA, tell him if he keeps doing this, if he doesn't give over the lighter, they're diverting.
And they diverted.
They diverted.
Yeah. I
mean, you're about as dumb as they could possibly be.
In this day and age, man, I'm serious. I'm surprised if there was somebody on that flight that literally wanted to freaking pulverize this dude.
Yeah, but the airlines are going to come after you for that cost.
Right. Oh no, yeah. I mean, we know that you're getting in trouble. There's you might have this attitude and I'm going to do what I want and blah blah blah, and whatever that person's situation is, but there's some definitely repercussions to that situation financially, right?
Yep.
And how about another naked woman, man? The one running around in Dallas stabbing people and biting them.
What's up with these people running around naked in airports now? Is this a new thing or what? But now you start stabbing people too and biting them?
I think the only thing I can think is edibles. We got a drug problem at check-in at the airports. because these people are batshit crazy, running around doing stupid
every week we've had some naked person running around an airport.
You can literally, if you Google naked people in an airport, there's just like, seems like there's hundreds of people. Just, I don't understand. Like, what is the purpose about getting naked in the airport?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, back in the 70s and stuff, they had those like streaking was the big thing, It was kind of like a fad. It was like funny and people were doing it at like public events and stuff. But no, these people are just batshit crazy.
That one, I still laugh at that one that she's running around with that police officer and she was going up underneath all the little
check-in areas,
check-in area, and he ended up taking a big dump. That was hilarious. Oh my god,
dude, nasty.
But it's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. A lot of crazy naked people running around airports, I guess.
Yeah, in the news lately, I mean, it's either you got crazy people or you got this weird things happening, like and you just the world. It's a world.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about the destination.
Destination, man. Destination this week, man. There's so much to talk about this destination. Orlando, Florida.
Love Orlando.
Orlando, Florida, first of all. I mean, I've been, we've both been there so many times.
Yep.
And, they are known for their theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
And the theme parks there, like, Disney started that whole area, bought up all those hundreds of land secretly and all this stuff, started Disney, just it exploded. But when you go to Orlando, it is, people all think about these parks, but there is like thousands and thousands of things to do other than the parks. Now, the parks have grown, like Disney started off, it was just Magic Kingdom, and then they grew to like Epcot and Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom and all that stuff. That's their main parks, and they all have their own like little beach parks too as well. But then Universal Studios is growing right now, like big time, and people don't realize that. But here, this May 22nd, there's a new Universal park opening up in Orlando, and that's called Universal Epic Universe. And I guess it's going to have like a Mario world in there.
Really?
Yeah. So they're going to have all these different, section of different things that Universal Studios are connected with. But they, Universal Studios is going to have now 3 parks. So, I mean, they're giving Disney a run for their money. I mean, Disney has 4, Universal has 3. And they both have 2 water parks. Do
you remember a thing called Soarin'? Was that in Universal?
Soarin'.
Yeah, Soarin'. It's when you went up, they took you in an IMAX, and you're in the center of an IMAX, and you looked like you were flying.
That was actually in Epcot.
Was it Epcot?
Yeah, it's Epcot. Okay. It's in one of the. It's in one of those worlds there. At
they
Epcot.
Still have it?
Yeah, it's still there.
That is the most incredible thing, man. I mean, did you do that?
Yeah, I've done it. So that whole sim situation where they put the giant seats there and you soar across the thing. I also did one outside of Orlando up in Canada, and it was in Vancouver, and it was this soaring across Canada. And you did the same experience where you're like, looks like you're flying and all that stuff. But in this one you were flying across all the provinces of Canada. It was really cool.
It's so because what they do is they have the smell of the trees, and they just pump in the smells of whatever you're flying over. And it's really
like
cool.
You see water and they mist you, and so it's like more of a 4D experience. So like not only are you doing this experience of like sensation of flying and moving and all that stuff, you're also having these like other sensations of that the water and the smells and all that stuff.
That was cool. And then the one I remember. And this is when Jackson was young, but the one I really remember was the Crush Interactive. You remember Crush? The turtle from Dory.
Yeah.
The hello, dude, what you doing, man?
Right.
And then, so you go in there, and they had this interactive with the kids, and Crush is like swimming up, and he's like, do,
Sure.
and he comes up and he's like, what's up, dude? What's going on? And all of a sudden he's like talking to kids that are in the crowd.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was actually somebody that was in there could talk just like Crush, and they were doing this whole interactive with the kids.
That's
and
great.
he'd swim around and he'd talk to another kid, or he talked to a dad, and it was some of the stuff they have in there is really cool.
I mean, we went to Disney a year or 2 ago and took our nieces there, and I mean, it is just mind-blowing, the technology that's involved with Disney. And you're talking about that interaction, like Hollywood Studios, they had a Muppet Show one where, you're basically on a Muppet Show.
Yeah.
And, me growing up, I love the Muppets.
Right.
Were you a Muppet fan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who wasn't a Muppet? Jim Henson was amazing. But that interactive thing there in this studio is they get interactive with the audience and stuff. And so the Muppets are actually interacting with the audience and talking to the audience and making jokes and putting a spotlight on different people and things like that. It's amazing. But I mean,
all right, your favorite Muppet?
My favorite Muppet, man, Animal. Oh. Come on, now.
You know something? I tell you that I was sitting there. I was like, "There's no way." Yeah, Animal, man. Animal. He was mine too.
Heck yeah,
Animal. He was a bomb, man.
I mean, after what would be your number 2? Number 2.
I really never thought about it. Animal was always my favorite.
Yeah.
So man. I really never thought about number 2. But go ahead.
My number 2 would be Beaker.
Oh yeah, I like Beaker. He's cool.
Beaker was the Muppet equivalent of Kenny on South Park.
Exactly.
Beaker got blew up. He was always getting blown up here and there, all that stuff. It's Muppets were that physical comedy has got to come back in the world. I was thinking about this the other day with my nieces. We were at a restaurant and there's pictures of the Three Stooges, and we were talking about them and trying to explain to them about Three Stooges. And it was like, man, how do you not know about Three Stooges? Like, we grew up, it was like a staple, right?
Oh, yeah.
Little
It's
Rascals,
like Abbott
Three
and Costello.
Stooges. Yeah, all that stuff was like, that was our jam right there. But like, these kids are oblivious to this. I'm like, I've got to get you experienced at Three Stooges. I mean, Larry Curly Moe, come on now. But
I love the Little Rascals too. That was really good.
Yeah, Little Rascals. I mean, all that physical comedy and things like that were just, that was priceless.
Do you remember Ma and Pa Kettle?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. I just had to see because that was really funny too.
Yeah. So the other thing about the destination in Orlando too is not only Disney and Universal has a park there, SeaWorld has a park, and it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the parks. I mean, SeaWorld's turned into like a different experience. When I was growing up, it was all about the sea animals, and it was you can go see the whales and the dolphins and the otters. And for some reason, the otter at every show I went always got out of the cage and they're running around the park chasing the dude. But it was like, there was that experience. But now SeaWorld has turned into more of an amusement park. Like, it has all these roller coasters, rides and stuff, that like lots of rides that are involved in SeaWorld and stuff, but they still have the animals and stuff in the tied into it, but they don't, it's just not as prevalent because they stopped all the, the whales in the parks and all that stuff, So PETA and all that stuff was involved with like getting rid of all that stuff and deterring that stuff. But anyways, the other thing that's really, really cool in Disney or at Orlando, you always call Orlando Disney because it's so prevalent there, is there's so many other places to go outside the parks. And one of the things that like we lay over on usually on International Drive. You've done some stuff on International Drive?
Yep.
International Drive is like, so what is some stuff that you've done on International Drive?
Sean, it's been a while because it's been with the kids a long time ago. So, I mean, it wouldn't be anything current.
Yeah. So, I used to get these like layovers. Like, I do 2 days down there and be in Orlando every like once or twice a week. And so I spend a lot of time in International Boulevard, and International Boulevard has everything, dude. It has all kinds of like experiences, like these shops and food, and you can do a helicopter ride. You can do Madame Tussauds museums there, the Upside Down museums there. Like it's like the whole building's flipped upside down on the thing. It's wild. I mean, it's a wild, the whole road, but it's all kind of like hidden because it's Florida on this like bushes. It seems like, what, you can't see everything is right there, but it's all there. And one of my big things that was like a big rage here recently or in the past history was escape rooms. Have you done escape rooms?
Nope.
Let me tell you, let me give advice to everybody out there. If you like and enjoy escape rooms, you've got to go to the pinnacle of escape rooms is Orlando. They've taken it to a whole nother level that will never, ever experience anywhere else. I mean, it's become an amusement park, these escape rooms. And they were so popular at one time, Disney was they were thinking about incorporating this into Disney somehow.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, but their technology and what they're doing in these escape rooms now are so impressive, and the scenarios and stuff and stories are great. And you don't have to be like with a group to go. You can go by yourself. I did that myself. I just went by myself, joined another group, and you do this escape room. It's a 1 hour experience. But
so how many people are in a group usually?
It depends on the room and the experience. Like one of the very high level rooms, because they have them measured in different levels. Like there was a maximum of 5 people could be in the room.
Okay.
So I was in there. It was me and 2 couples, and we were in a very extremely hard escape room that you had to get out of in 1 hour. And we barely did it, but we got it. We got done with it, and it was like a next level escape room. It was a werewolf thing where you were like in a cabin out in the woods, and the whole experience start where you're like in this cabin and it's pitch black. And it is wild because they had like all kinds of freaky things. Like once you find like some light and find some keys, and there's like little holes and things you go into, and they'd be like, they'd make sounds and stuff would like grab at you at the, like, it was wild, man. It was like, or like air would blow on you and you like scared the crap out of you. Like
that would be fun. That'd be cool.
But it was just really cool. But to get to my point, International Drive has so many experiences, and there's other experiences there outside of the parks, like Disney Springs. Disney has their whole area that is like literally a city. And back in the day, it was called something else. I can't remember the name of it, but they had started off as a nightclub area, like for adults in the evening. You can go in and like from 5 to midnight, this thing turned into like a party zone, but it was like a Disney party zone. So they had all these different types of clubs and stuff like that. But then they changed this whole area into the city. So now it's this family experience where you can go there with, food, and there's shows to see. There's, there's not so many clubs necessarily, but there's experiences and stuff that you can go into. They have those like now 3D rooms and stuff where you can go in and like put on these 3D equipment, this virtual equipment, and you're as a team in the room and you're all doing this whole venture, whether you're shooting aliens and stuff, but you're in a big open space with this equipment on. You can just see everybody through virtual reality. It's pretty wild.
Orlando has something for everybody, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's something for everybody there. And then Universal has their own city too now called Universal City Walk. And Universal City Walk is the same thing, but it's all the Universal stuff in the city, and the same thing, kind of like parallel to what Disney Springs is, but just they've got all those different experiences and activities for you to do. Giant arcades, 4-story arcades where you can go in there and pay one price and you're just doing all kinds of crazy stuff, kind of like a Dave and Buster's type of thing. But I mean, it's just unlimited in Orlando, what all the things you can do, not to mention outside of the resorts. You've got all the hotels and you got golfing and food, and even downtown Orlando is like amazing. There's just so many things to talk about with Orlando. I mean, you just gotta, it's amazing, but there's so much food there. There's no sense in even trying to like pick, any food to talk about. There's no specific food to go to, but there is one place that I got to tell you about that I think that you would really love. And it's a place called the Hash House. And it's on International Boulevard. I found this last time I was down there with my niece and nephew. And the Hash House is like this breakfast experience. Like you go there and you're going to get a pancake. You order one pancake. The pancake's going to come out. It's like, I would say like it's twice the size of the plate that they serve it on. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the size of the food and all this stuff. They got people going around talking to the kids, making balloons and all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. It's a cool place. But the Hash House is definitely a place if you have a time. And there's hundreds of places to get food and breakfast and dinner and lunch and all that stuff. But the Hash House is really cool.
Well, you can understand why Orlando flights are always packed. Right. I mean, they're packed all the time because this is a family destination, and there is something for everyone, basically.
Yeah, there's not all those miracle flights we do down there, and those it is a cool destination, and there's something there for everybody.
All right, man. Well, listen, here is the quote for the week. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, and an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which has the potential to turn a life around.
Amen.
In our job, we say this all the time. People travel. Most of the people that we could come across are traveling for the first time, and the airports are the most frustrating place to be. And trust me, I understand that. I'm in those every single day. So just as a crew member, those 1%ers, take that in consideration when you're coming across some of these passengers. We realize some of them are a little bit upset, but sometimes there's a reason. So just take a minute, try to make somebody's day and make yours a little bit better. But hey, listen, Sean had a lot of fun this week. You guys have a great week. It was a lot of fun here on Cabin Pressure.
A lot of fun. We will see you next time on Cabin Pressure. We got some fun stuff coming up here in the future, and look forward to talking to you guys about it. Have a great day.
See you guys.
If you laughed, Learn something or just feel a little bit better about your own job after hearing about ours? Do us a favor. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your weirdest coworker. You know the one. Hit us up on Facebook. Drop your wildest airport stories. We just might read them on air. Bonus points if you involve questionable clothing decisions. Until next time, stay strapped in, stay hydrated, and for the love of TSA, keep your clothes on in the terminal.